Farming the objectives is the only way that you can really dream to be competitive within Evercore Heroes. If you do this efficiently, your gameplay will be taken to the next level. And today I'm here to explain how to do every map objective within Evercore Heroes. I will note first that I'm assuming you've already watched my basic explanation on what the map is and what you find on the map. If you haven't, go watch it now and come back. Let's start. The mine icon looks a little bit like the Triforce from Legend of Zelda, but these mines are guarded by a horde of preset monsters that once you beat the horde, you get the reward and claim the mine. Claiming a mine means you are going to gain a passive resource as the match progresses, and these do not reset until the base defense phase begins. Here's a few quick notes. These green rocks heal after a short duration and they heal everything around them. These are usually one of the highest priority targets and you should focus on getting them down. These spiders shoot a channel beam that deals a lot of damage, and if you aren't aware that this is going to come out, it can easily overwhelm your group, so just make sure that you can interrupt them or prioritize them. And then finally, these big rocks will look to stomp on occasion. This stomp does damage in a circle and stuns pretty bad, so move out of it. The next objective is a Crucible, which looks like a little cave. When you approach this objective, you are going to see a big rock, and do not hit it until you are ready to actually start the objective. Once you hit the rock, an endless outpouring of enemies is going to start appearing, and they're going to try and stop you from breaking this fancy rock. The key to this one is to sync up with your team and burst it down before you get overwhelmed. This objective can honestly be really trivial with the slightest bit of coordination. I will note again, the green rocks heal the big rock, so don't let the green rocks do their thing. Next is the battle horn, which looks like a horn. You click on the horn and you start the event. Once it's started, enemies will begin to appear. Every enemy that you slay means more rewards for you once the event is over. So go out there and kill all of the enemies that I've talked about previously as fast as you can to maximize the amount of rewards that you get. Finally, we have gauntlets, which are the only objective on the map that gets impacted by other teams. All gauntlets have a growing pot that entices teams to tackle it. To deal with the gauntlet, a single player on your team enters into the circle, and you'll notice one segment will start to glow. There's one glowable segment for every player that shows up to the objective. And for the love of all that is good, please make sure you are standing inside of the circle. The more players that stand inside the circle, the faster you complete the objective. Be warned that there are enemies that are going to spawn and they are going to try and down you, but just stay on top of them and don't leave the circle. Currently, enemies slain do not increase the progression towards the objective completing. So this is simply a numbers game, and if you leave the circle, you are leaving your team open to having the objective sniped by someone else who's doing it at the same time as you. Now, around the map, you will notice these large elite creatures that are holding on to items. Slaying these creatures will give you these items. I will have to cover all of the items in another video, but overall, these are almost always worth stomping in on to take down, because at the very least, you can sell this item that drops to give your team more gold. There is one exception to this. There is going to be a large green lad that can sometimes spawn that is an elite that contains an item. If you do not have major disruption or displacement, I would recommend not doing this until you have proper itemization, because this rock will put down a green sludge on the ground that will heal it back up to full if you can't move it out of the sludge or out DPS the rather intense heal. Also around the map, you will notice that there is treasure chests that appear. These dictate the presence of a gold node, and you can break it to receive extra gold. Also around the map, there are these pinkish crystals. You can break them and receive a choice between two shards, which at the very least gives you something that you can sell, so when in doubt, take the shinier one. Now, specifically on the crew mines, there are 3 teleporters that are guarded by small groups of enemies. Slaying them opens up the teleporter, which allows you to move between all 3 marked teleporters and the base with ease. Very handy for managing bounties. And speaking of bounties, bounties are marked by the bounty board, and slaying a bounty drops a bounty voucher. Bounty vouchers sell for great gold and is a great way for you to get extra income. And that is all of the objectives that are in Evercore Heroes at the moment. Go out there and farm efficiently. If you want to learn more about Evercore Heroes, click the video on your screen and I will see you there. Have yourselves a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time.